Hi everybody, Katie here from Pilates Physio Cork with your Fundamental Pilates class for what would have been week 6 of our block. Hope you're all keeping well. Just a few things to remind you of before we start the class. Just as always, making sure that you're symptom-free and able to breathe and modifying anything that you need to make sure that that's the case for you. And I'll give you tips as we go. And particularly if you have any bone health issues, just a heads up on a few of the exercises, just making sure if you're doing the prayer stretch, you use your head block or a cushion or something like that as you usually would. When we're doing the thread the needle, if you do a spine twist in sitting or an arm opening exercise instead. When we're doing the hundreds exercise, just don't add in the abdo prep part of it. When we are lying on our backs doing a spine stretch, you can do a seated spine twist or again the arm openings, so whichever you prefer. And then finally, when we're doing the shoulder bridge exercise, if you don't add in the heel lift, so just keep it at level 1. So for all the other exercises, you should be fine as long as you're modifying it to make sure you're symptom free, as should everybody. So I hope you enjoy this class and let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start the class in standing. If you have some weights at home that feel like the right kind of weight for you at the moment, then you can use them. If you don't have something that's kind of specifically made as a weight, you can use something, household items that feel like an appropriate weight, so whether that's tins of beans or a bag with a couple of items in it, whatever you have that feels right. But if you don't have anything or you prefer not to use it, then you're fine just to work without and just use body weight and resistance, and you'll get plenty of work that way too. So whatever's feeling good for you. So starting with your feet hip distance apart, holding the weights by your side if you're going to use them. Think of your helium balloon, shoulders into the back pockets, ribs soft, pelvis into neutral, knees soft, and your weight evenly spread. So we're going to start with a squat. Just think of your bum going back to sit onto a chair behind you, and then push through your heels, come back up to standing. So bend the knees, bum going back, push through the heels, and all the way back up again. So just checking that's feeling good, making sure you're symptom-free, able to breathe, and then if you're able to, you can add in just touching the weights or your hands down to the floor, and then as you come up, pushing them up to the ceiling. So bending down and pushing them back up. Now just think about keeping your shoulder blades into the back pockets as you come down, and your ribs soft as you go up. Now even if you're working without the weights, you can still use that hand movement, and you'll just be getting a lot more movement through the upper back and a more functional movement pattern going on too. So how many times a day do we do this? You're bending down to pick up something, maybe reaching to put it on the shelf, and we're just going to get strong for those everyday movements. And thinking about our neutral position and taking the time to check, am I breathing while I'm doing that as well? Great job. So keep going, and as you're getting out of breath, really checking that you're not holding that breath. Nearly there, 5 more seconds. And done, well done. So our next exercise, we're going to come into a step stance. So one leg in front, other leg behind, and the heel is lifted. And again, you can do it without weights or with whatever you prefer. So we're going to bend that knee, drop the back knee to the floor, push through the heel to come back up. So bending the front leg, dropping the back knee, push through the front heel, and come up. Think about those shoulder blades are in neutral, length through the spine, ribs are soft. Good. Now if you're able to and you want, then you can add your weights in. And you can either just keep them down by your side, or when you bend your knee, push up to the ceiling and back down. So pushing up and back down. Trying to control it the whole time. And you might find, yeah, I can manage 3 or 4 like that, and now I've had enough, thanks. Then just leave the weights out. And you'll be stronger for that little bit that you did that got you to fatigue. One more time. And then we're going to switch over. Great job. Let's go to the other side. So either with or without. You might want to start without the weights and just see, and then dropping the knee down, pushing back up. So dropping down, push through that heel up. So I'm trying to keep my front shin as vertical as possible. So I'm trying to avoid this knee coming forwards this way. And think about keeping shoulder blades soft into the back pockets, ribs soft. Holding your peach, keeping that relaxed breath, and adding in your hands to the ceiling if you want. So do modify it as ever you need to. But if you can add in that weight or that arm movement with or without, then you're just getting a little added extra. Good job. Nearly there. And keep breathing. And last one. Oh, I'm getting tired here. Maybe you are too. So I'm going to drop one weight down because I can't manage the two for this next one. So just modify it as you need. Take a minute, let's just catch our breath. You might want to get a drink of water and just take a rest. Remember, you can always pause the video if you feel like you need to. And when you're ready, find that neutral position again. So shoulders down, ribs soft, pelvis neutral. You're going to step out to the side, back leg crosses over, and then push back up. Step out, back leg behind, and push back up. So into a curtsy lunge. Now you can just hold the weight in the center if you like, or you could not use one if you don't want to. But if you're feeling good, you want to challenge yourself a little further, then you can stretch the weight out in front of you as you come into your curtsy lunge. Let's think about pushing through that front heel to come back up each time. Getting hot and sweaty, which is good. That means we're getting some cardiovascular workout here too. And hopefully your thighs and your glutes are feeling like they're doing some work. Let's go one more time each side. And we're nearly there. Well done. Okay, so again, take a rest if you need to. If you want to let that heart rate come back down, get a sip of water. But if you're able to, let's carry on. So we're going to go for a deadlift. I'm just going to go sideways so you can see how I'm working. Shoulder blades down, ribs soft, pelvis neutral. And this can be with or without a weight. If you have a TheraBand, you could use that too. Just put it under your feet, pull up and hold the ends, and work with that resistance. But if you don't have any of those things, or you're just not feeling like that's right for you right now, just do it with body weight. So whether with or without the weight of TheraBand, you're going to think about hinging at the hips, sending the bum back. Hands are sliding down your shins, and you might want to get to a knee bend towards the end, and then come on back up. So bum going back, hinge at the hips, and then when you get to the end of your hamstring range, you'll have to bend your knees a little, and then come on back up. So I've got quite long hamstrings. You might not be able to go so far before you need to bend, or you might not be able to go any lower than this. That's just fine. Just work within the range you've got. But the main thing to think about is hinge at the hips and sending your bum back. So it's not a squat. I'm not bending my knees primarily. The first thing I'm thinking about is bum backwards. Hinge at the hips. Hands going down the shins and straight back up. So I'm going nice and slow on the way down. That's my focus. It's control, lower down, and then straight back up again. Keeping breathing. Nearly there. Doing really great. We can do this. And one more time. And back up. Well done. Great job. Okay, so we're going to pop the weights down and head on down to the floor. So come on down into 4-point kneeling. If you have weights that you're using, then we're going to hold on to them here in this 4-point kneeling position. If you don't have anything suitable, then that's fine. You can just do it with your hands on the floor and just using body weight and gravity. So you will get a bit more benefit with this exercise if you have something to give you some resistance, even if it's a TheraBand that you're holding on the floor with both hands and you're going to pull up with one and then pull up with the other, or weights or just household objects that you can hold. But if you haven't got anything like that, or it's giving you any symptoms to use it, just do it without and do the movement. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. We're going to slide the shoulders down towards the waist, push the floor away, and find that neutral pelvis position. Lengthen the neck to hold your peach. Take a breath in to prepare, and then as you breathe out, we're going to think of a string pulling your elbow up towards the ceiling, and then control, lower it back down again. Same thing on the other side, elbow pull up towards the ceiling, control, lower back down again. So imagine there's a tray of drinks on your back, you don't want to let them spill. So as you're lifting one arm up, nothing else is changing. So keep that feeling of sliding the shoulders down, pushing the floor away from you. Elbow is where you're getting the movement from. And you really want to keep those shoulder blades down into the back pockets, and we're working those back muscles. So elbow drawing up to the ceiling, and control as you lower down again. So I know it's tempting just to let gravity do the work, drop you back down, but we want to get the maximum benefit here, and it's that slow lower against resistance that's really going to help you strengthen your muscles. So trying to control it all the way back down. Keep breathing, nice and slow. So elbow pulling up, control lower down, and keeping that tray of drinks completely intact. You don't want to get wet. Keeping it nice and strong across the back. One more time on the second side. Great work. Well done. Okay, so you can hold on to the weights if that feels more comfortable for your wrists in this 4-point kneeling position. But if you're happy with your hands on the floor, then you don't need them. If mine will stay still. So just come into your 4-point kneeling position. We're going to start with a modified push-up, and we can progress it if you're able. So shoulders down, push the floor away, pelvis into neutral, holding your peach. Take a breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, we're just going to bend the elbows, lower the face to the floor, push the floor away and come back up again. So nothing is changing apart from those elbows bending. So just watch out. Remember, there's a couple of cheats. You don't want to let your back arch like this as you lower, and you don't want your bum moving backwards so that it's the legs working. If you just think about it, keep your position, bend the elbows, and push back up again. So checking that you're not holding your breath, and the place where you're likely to hold it is when you're trying to push back up again. So that's where it can be really helpful to do your breath out as you push up. If you're not breath holding and you're getting confused about when to breathe, I really don't mind, just breathe. But that can be a really helpful trick if you find that you're tending to hold your breath. One more for this set. Great. Okay. Now, you can either do another set like that in a moment, we'll have a little rest, or you can progress it. So if you're going to progress, bring your hands forward a little bit, and then bring your weight so your shoulders are over your hands. And we're going to do the same thing. So whichever you're going to do, we'll do our second set. 4-point kneeling or hands slightly forwards. Remember, your checkpoints are symptom-free and able to breathe. So shoulders are sliding down, push the floor away, pelvis in neutral. Shoulders are still over the hands. You're going to bend the elbows and push back up. And nothing else is changing. Apart from maybe you're getting out of breath and things are starting to burn. That's okay. If it's muscle burning because you're getting tired, that's fine, as long as it's not your symptoms or anything being aggravated. And 3 more. if you can manage it. Nearly there. Let's breathe out, push back up. Well done, great job. Okay, so now we're going to come back into our 4-point kneeling position and just tuck the toes underneath. Again, slide the shoulders down, push the floor away, pelvis into neutral. Take a breath in to prepare, and then as you breathe out, we're going to hover the knees off the floor and then control, lower back down again. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you hover, and control back down. Keep that feeling of sliding down, pushing the floor away. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you hover, and control back down. And again, breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you hover, and control back down. Remember, if you want to progress, then you can hold that hover a bit longer. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you hover, and hold it there as you keep breathing. And then when you're ready, control, lower back down. Let's try one more. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you hover, keep breathing, and then control, lower down. Really great work, well done. Let's sit back into a prayer stretch. Give your upper body a little rest. You can come side to side. You might, if you're feeling the strain in your neck, turn your head from side to side, massaging the forehead on the floor. Probably more comfortable if you're on a mat or a soft surface there. Or you might want to rotate your wrists around, give them a little bit of love. Or maybe it's your shoulders where you're really feeling it, and you need to give them a bit of a move. So just stretching out and moving wherever you're feeling the strain. And we're going to do some donkey kicks for our next exercise. So take a rest a little longer if you need to. If your upper body is getting tired, you can pause the video at any point. That's the advantage of this format. And just check you've got a little space behind you. Slide the shoulders down, push the floor away, pelvis into neutral, holding your peach. I want you to think about your heel going up towards the ceiling and then back down again. So we're going to go 8 times on one leg and then on the other. What we're not doing is stretching the leg away like this or arching the back like this. So just check. Back is staying still, heel to the ceiling and down. It doesn't have to go that high. If that's as far as you can go without arching, then that's as far as you go. And we've got 2 more, I think. I do lose count. And last one. Great. And then 8 on the other side. So keep that tray of drinks still and heel to the ceiling. Oh, my plant is in the way, but I think it's still safe. So think of your heel going up and down. Try not to offload onto that supporting leg. And keep that pushing the floor away, sliding the shoulders down, holding your peach. 2 more. Well done, great job. Let's do a thread the needle to ease out that upper back, hand to the ceiling, sliding through and back up. And again, hand to the ceiling and sliding through. Good job. So just keeping that flow going, alternate sides, getting as much rotation as you can each way. And then for the last repetition, let's hold that position and just breathing into that stretch. You can use the palm of your hand that's on the floor, push gently away for some more rotation if that feels right. Great job. Well done. So we're going to come down onto our backs. If you have a mat or another soft surface to lie on, then use that. If you don't have anything special, then you can just use a towel and that's just fine. And we're going to start by just relaxing, letting go of any tension we're holding, checking in to find that relaxed breath. And then we'll set up a neutral. I just need to fold this mat under a little bit so my feet aren't sticking on the floor. So I'm getting rid of any friction there for this next exercise. So find that neutral position, holding your peach, shoulder blades into the back pockets, ribs are soft, pelvis into neutral. And then we're going to do a one leg slide and a hip twist combined. So imagine that tray of marbles balanced on your tummy. And we're going to slide the leg away without letting any marbles move. And then come back to your start position and let that knee come out to the side. Still keep those marbles still. And back to the start. And then we're going to swap to the other leg. So sliding out and back. Knee out to the side and back. So the whole time we're keeping that tray of marbles still. And also thinking about the relationship between your low back and the floor. So you don't want to feel like your back is flattening into the floor or arching away as your leg is stretching out here and coming back up, or as your leg goes out to the side. So you're more likely to feel that kind of arch. You can see my back here as you stretch. So just keeping that neutral the whole time. And as your knee goes to the side, you're more likely to feel a rolling. So try to make sure that opposite hip doesn't follow. And if you just visualize that tray of marbles the whole time, and you don't want the marbles to move in any direction, that will help you to keep that neutral position. So just making sure you're breathing the whole time, that nice expansion into the lower ribs in all directions, side to side and front to back. And it doesn't matter if it's not a very big range of movement of that knee out to the side. We're not doing this for a hip mobility exercise. We're doing this for core stability. And by keeping your pelvis in neutral as your leg is moving, you're going to be using those core muscles to stabilize. And that's how we're going to get stronger. So just keeping breathing, keeping neutral. Just have a little check on your next hip twist movement that this stabilizing leg stays still. So what it might want to do is go the other way. I'm exaggerating, it might not move that much, but it will move a little bit away from your moving leg. And that's just a way of cheating and kind of counterbalancing things. So try to make sure this still leg really stays still, pointing to the ceiling the whole time. And you may feel those lower tummy muscles just here, that's what's working to give you that stability. So we're going to go for one more repetition on each side. Just check the head, neck and shoulders. Are you holding any tension there? Can you relax a little bit more? Think of melting down into the floor. Think of the shoulder blades down to the waist. So maybe stretching your fingers to your toes will help you to get that. And last one. Great. Okay, so we're going to move on to a scissors exercise. You're still keeping this neutral position and the same aim of keeping your tray of marbles completely still as we're moving the leg. So let's take a breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, we're going to lift the heel, float the leg up into single tabletop, and then float the leg back down again. So we're going to breathe out as the leg is floating up, and breathe in as the leg is floating back down again. So just check, think about the weight through the back of your hips, and as your leg is moving up, just check, is that weight staying even on the right and the left? It should still feel like it's the same. You shouldn't feel like as you lift up one leg, it gets heavier through the back of the other hip. That would mean all your marbles are tilting that way. So trying to keep the weight even through the back of both hips. And as you do that, you may feel, again, those lower tummy muscles engaging. If you're not feeling that, that's okay. You just think about keeping neutral, keeping breathing. But sometimes knowing where you want to feel the work happening can really help. Now, if this is feeling quite easy, we can try progressing it. If it's not feeling easy, then carry on at that level, making sure you're symptom-free and able to breathe. But if you're feeling like, yeah, this is okay, I can try a little more, then come from single tabletop and then lift the second heel, maybe even up onto your toes, and then back down and lower the leg back down again. And then we'll do the other side. So floating that leg up, keep your marbles still, and then just lift the heel, maybe onto the toes, maybe not. Just what's right for you. What do you feel like you can control? And what you're watching out for here is Any tendency to breath hold increasing, or any feeling of bracing where you kind of have to tense everything to give you that lift, or any doming of the abdominals, or any symptoms, any low back pain or any bearing down into the pelvic floor. Any of those things happening would indicate that this is a little bit too much. You don't want to progress it. But if you're not having any of those symptoms and you still feel like, yeah, this is easy enough, I can carry on, then we can try progressing a little further into a double tabletop. So just make sure you're working at the level that's right for you. Only progress if you're symptom-free and feel like this is easy, I can do a little more. So if that's the case, then we're going to breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you float your leg up, and then breathe in to prepare again, breathe out, lift the second heel, float your leg up into double tabletop. Then we're going to float the first leg down, and then the second leg down. And now we're going to start with the other side. So this time my second leg becomes my first leg, and breathe in to prepare, breathe out, lift the second heel, float your leg up, and then float the first leg down, and then the second leg down. And it's the same watch point, so no breath holding, no bracing, no doming, no pain, no symptoms. If any of those things are happening, then go back to your single tabletop and your heel lift, or just the single tabletop as well. And remember, as you tire, as you fatigue, you might find, I managed 3 or 4 repetitions, but now I can feel that's not right for me anymore. Then listen to your body. Go back to the simpler version. So we're going to do one more of whatever level you're doing on each side. Just check in with the head, neck and shoulders. I can feel that tension tending to creep in for me into the head, neck and shoulders. So you just have to keep on checking in with it again. Checking in with that breath. And last one. Great, well done. Okay, let's just hug the knees up to the chest. Take a little rest for a moment. Stretching out that lower back. And remember, you can do this at any point that you need to. You don't need to wait for me to cue it. If you're feeling like you need to take a break, stretch something out, then just do it. Okay, so we're going to progress or move on to our next exercise. We're going to do a one leg stretch, we're not. We're going to do hundreds. So we're going to work from single tabletop, and then if you feel able to, we'll progress it to double tabletop. So start from your neutral position, and then we're going to breathe in to prepare, breathe out, float one leg up into single tabletop. We're going to stretch the fingers down towards the toes, and we're going to keep the neutral pelvis, pump the arms, 5 for breath in, and 5 for breath out. 5 for breath in, and 5 for breath out. So if you were feeling okay in double tabletop, you may want to come up there now and carry on 5 for breath in, and 5 for breath out. If that didn't feel alright, then you stick with single tabletop. And whichever version you're on, just see how it feels if you add stretching the fingers down towards the toes, sliding the shoulders down towards the waist, lifting the shoulders off the floor. So you're in an abdo prep as well. If you have any bone health issues, then don't add the abdo prep in. So pumping the arms, 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out, 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out. So you don't want to be feeling like it's just the neck that you're lifting. That's going to be quite a strain on the neck. You're really feeling a stretching the fingers to the toes, shoulders towards the hips. So it's the shoulders lifting off the floor and out. And then let's lower back down. Just take a rest for the neck. You might want to roll the neck from side to side if there's any tension there. And we're going to do it on the other side. So if you're working from double tabletop and you feel like you can carry on, then you can carry on with another set of those. If by now you're fatigued, then you want to come to single tabletop. Just do half on each leg. So take a breath to prepare from your neutral position. We're going to breathe out, float your leg to single tabletop, stretch the fingers to the toes, pulsing 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out. If you're feeling up for it and you've still got the endurance, then you can add in your second leg, but only if you're symptom free and able to breathe. So pumping 5 for breath in and 5 for breath out. Really stretching the fingers towards the toes. Now if you're feeling able, then stretch the fingers towards the toes, shoulders towards the hips, and keeping pumping. So I'm trying not to squish my peach too much. I'm really trying to think of the shoulders lifting and keeping that neck extended. So pumping 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out, 5 for breath in. If it's too much strain on the neck, then just come down and carry on without. 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out, 5 for breath in, 5. Remember, swap to the other side if you're doing single tabletop for the first time and you were doing double tabletop before. 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out. Keep pumping. That feeling of the fingers to the toes is really going to help the neck. Come down if you feel like there's too much strain. And you can keep going up and down. Take a little breath through the neck and then come back again. Think of sliding the shoulders to the hips and pulsing. 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out. But if it's aggravating neck symptoms, don't even think about it. Just keep the head down. 5 for breath in, 5 for breath out. Great, and lower back down. Really great. Well done. So we can feel that in the abdominals, can feel that in the core. Lovely. So we're going to go on to a double leg stretch now. So we're going to bring the hands up to the ceiling. I'm just going to start us off with level 1, just to remember our arms. So think of those ribs softening down towards the waist. So avoiding this kind of arched position here, just think of them softening down, keeping the pelvis in neutral, hands are pointing to the ceiling. Breath in to prepare, and as you breathe out, lower the hands behind the head just as far as you can without starting to arch like this. So keeping those ribs soft, breathe in to circle round and back to the start. So breathe out as they go back, breathe in as they come round. Breathe out as you lower back, breathe in as you come round. So if you feel like you want to just concentrate on the arms and keeping those ribs soft and just that awareness of not coming too far and arching your back, then you can just carry on with that. But if you like, you can add in the legs as well. So we're going to come to a single tabletop position again, stretch the leg out, and then come back to your start position. So arms and legs stretch away, circle the arms round, back to the start. And we're aiming for the arms and the leg to finish at the same time, which is a little bit of a coordination challenge because your arms have a lot further to go. So they're having to travel faster than your leg. And again, we're trying to keep that tray of marbles completely still. So as I stretch the leg out, I don't want to let that arch happen. I'm keeping the lower back in the same relationship to the floor. Last one on this side. And back. And we're going to lower the leg down and switch to the other side. So stretching the arms and leg away, circle round and back. Arms and leg away. So when I stretch my leg out, I'm aiming for my thighs to kind of be parallel, side by side. So the leg is lengthening to a kind of 45-degree angle with the floor. It can be higher than that if you feel like you can't control it. If you're feeling like it's making your back arch, then it doesn't have to even extend fully. You can keep it a little bit bent, or you can straighten it a little further to the ceiling. That's okay. We're just trying to make sure that you don't let the back arch, because that's going to be what we are challenging those core muscles with, keeping that neutral position. Keeping breathing. So if you're finding you're turning to breath hold, then breathe out as you lengthen away. Breathe in as you come back. If you're getting confused with the breathing, then just keep neutral and keep breathing. And we'll do one more time. And round. Great job, and lower back down. Well done. Okay, so we'll just take a little spine stretch here, arms out to the side, feet and knees together. And you're going to let your knees fall to the side, peeling your back off the floor, turn your head away. Taking a breath in, try and keep this shoulder on the floor and your knees together. And then you're aiming for the knees to reach the floor on the other side, but if they don't, that's okay. And then just breathing in this position. Feeling that lovely rotation stretch all the way down the back. And then upper back, middle back, lower back, back onto the floor. And we'll go the other way. So peeling lower back, middle back, upper back. Turn your head away from your knee. Keep the shoulder on the floor. Keep the knees together. And take a breath in. Relax into that stretch. A few breaths. Remember, if you have bone health issues, you can do your spine twist instead. Okay, so we're going to come back to this crook lying position again. And the feet, we're going to bring them a little bit closer to the bum this time so that you are going to be biasing the glutes. We're going to do a shoulder bridge, and we want to feel it in the bum muscles more than the back of the thighs. So let's start from neutral. And we're going to take a breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, squeeze the glutes together, flatten the back into the floor, and peeling vertebra by vertebra off the floor until you're in the shoulder bridge position. And then we're going to soften the breastbone down, vertebra by vertebra, all the way back down again. So squeeze the bum muscles together, flatten the back on the floor, peeling vertebra by vertebra, all the way up into shoulder bridge. So from shoulder bridge, we want the shoulders to the knee to the shoulder to be a diagonal line, trying to get the hips as high as you can, but avoid arching here, so keep those ribs soft. And now soften the breastbone down, vertebra by vertebra, all the way back down again. And again, squeeze the bum, flatten the back, and vertebra by vertebra all the way up. And soften the breastbone, vertebra by vertebra, all the way down. So we carry on like that, squeeze the buttocks, vertebra by vertebra all the way up, and all the way back down. So if you have any bone health issues, then carry on at that level, don't progress it. Or if you're feeling like there's any tendency for cramp in the hamstrings, you may just want to stretch them out or carry on at that level. But if you're feeling all right, then we can try progressing from here. So you're going to come up into your shoulder bridge, and then you're going to lift the heel off the floor into the toes, and then the same thing on the other side of the heel onto the toes, trying to keep these hips level, and then come on back down again. So flatten the back, squeeze the bottom, vertebra by vertebra up. You could have your hands on your hips just to check, am I letting that hip drop? We're going to do that in a moment on the next exercise. But right now I want you to focus on keeping them level as you lift and lower the heel. And back down. Great, so squeeze the bum. If you're feeling it in the hamstrings, make sure you're really squeezing those glutes together before you start to lift, because that's going to tell those muscles, come on, it's you guys, I want to do this job. It's not the hamstrings. And just check head, neck and shoulders. Can I relax you a little bit more? Are you holding any tension up here that needn't be there? Bum muscles have lots of tension in, that's good, but we don't need it up here. Okay, let's do one more. Oh, I got a little cramp to stretch out. So one more, squeeze the buttocks, flatten the back, vertebra by vertebra up. And lift the heel and lower. Relax the head, neck and shoulders. Last one, keep those hips level. Now soften the breastbone all the way back down. Great, let's just take a little stretch on the hamstrings. So just trying to straighten the knee. If you can't straighten it up to the ceiling, then bring in the thigh towards you, and then just hold the lower leg and try and lengthen the leg just to the point where you feel that stretch down the back of the thigh. Just holding that there. And then go on the other side. We're going to do one more version of shoulder bridge. If though you feel like you've done enough, then you could, or you don't want to progress it, you could do the first version again, or you could just squeeze the buttocks together and then release. Squeeze the buttocks together and then release. So you're having any hamstring issues, or you're just quite fatigued at this point, that would be an option as well. So if you're all right to carry on, take a breath in to prepare, let everything relax. We're going to squeeze the buttocks, flatten the back into the floor, come up into your shoulder bridge, and then we're going to drop the right hip towards the floor and back up again. Then drop the left hip to the floor and back up again. And then back down again. And again, flatten the back, coming up. Drop the right hip and up. Left hip and up and down. Great, so squeeze the buttocks together, flatten the back, peeling off. So we're getting mobility through the spine with each one. Drop the right hip and right back up again. Left hip and then left buttock is working to get you back up again. Flatten the breastbone, vertebra by vertebra back down. So you're really trying to get that segmental movement through your spine on each repetition. So we're just maximizing the benefit of each exercise, getting as much benefit and work out of it each time. So right hip down, left hip down. Soften the breastbone, vertebra by vertebra down. One more time. Squeeze the buttocks, flatten the spine, vertebra by vertebra up. Drop the right hip and up. Drop the left hip and up. And then soften the breastbone and vertebra by vertebra down. Great work, well done. Great job, well done. So you're finished your workout. If you want to add Joe's cool down on the end, do. Well done for turning up and keeping exercising during this time, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.